It's Loeb versus Hirvonen. The 5-times world champion versus the young pretender. Citroën versus Ford. The Drivers' Championship is at a crucial stage, with Hirvonen leading Loeb by just 1 point. And they're about to do battle in the greatest arena of them all. This is Rally Finland. These Finnish forests may literally be Hirvonen's backyard, but he's yet to win here, while Loeb finally added this classic to his CV last year.
It was so close last year that, okay, the difference was very small, so I don't know. I will try to fight, and we will see.
Even though we are in Finland, he showed last year that he can win this rally as well, and he can be really fast here, so I think we end up fighting from each 10th of the second again, and really having a big fight.
Loeb makes few mistakes, but he lost the lead in the championship after offs in the last 2 rounds in Greece and Poland. Is he suffering a crisis of confidence?
We know in Greece I've done a mistake. In Poland we know now that it was a problem, so it shouldn't break normally. So it was, I think, a difficult period in the championship, but I hope we'll start again on new bases now, and I hope it will be okay.
Now, as you're leading the championship, do you feel the extra pressure is on you?
No, for me, I have the feeling that extra pressure is on Sebastian. I have 2 good rallies behind me, and he made a small mistake, and now we're in Finland, which is my home rally, so I feel really relaxed, and for sure there is pressure, but it's nothing special.
And the other big news this weekend is that this fierce rivalry is set to continue, as both Citroën and Ford have announced in Finland that they will continue in the championship until at least 2011. With its smooth gravel stages and high speeds, Rally Finland is often referred to as the Grand Prix in the forests. So, Kimi Räikkönen should feel at home. The 2007 F1 champion has competed in the Finnish National Championship, but makes his debut in the WRC in his Fiat Punto. Before we get going, here's a reminder of the championship standings. After 8 rounds, Hirvonen has 58 points to Loeb's 57. Citroën's Danny Sordo is third on 39 points. And it's crucial Hirvonen and his Ford teammate Latvala put in big performances over the next 3 days if they have to get back on terms with Citroën in the manufacturer's standings. They currently trail the French team by 17 points. The town of Jyväskylä will be the focus of the rally world for the next 3 days, as this is home to Rally Finland. From here, the crews head out to the 23 stages, that total 345 kilometres. Jyväskylä's Killary trotting track hosted the Super Special on Thursday night, and as ever in this part of the world, it was a sellout, with thousands of Finnish fans eager to see their heroes in action. And one of the biggest cheers of the evening went to their Formula 1 star Kimi Räikkönen. But the focus is all on the 2 men fighting for the championship, and in the title race showdown, it was Loeb who took first honours. The world champion is the early leader, almost a second up on Hirvonen after stage 1. But the real action will be happening out in the forests, and here with details of those stages is Kimi Räikkönen's co-driver Kai Lindström.
Day 1, 9 stages, total of 130 kilometers. First stage, Jukojärvi, I think will be the most interesting stage of the day. It's very high-speed stage with some difficult parts on it, and on that one we can see if the drivers are right awake first thing in the morning. It will be interesting to see how it goes in the afternoon, because we will repeat the stages that we've done in the morning. Some of them will go quite soft, and unfortunately we will find some rocks there as well.
Out into the forests now, and the enthusiastic Finnish spectators are already out in force. Hey! And on the start line, Mikko Hirvonen, a resident of Jyväskylä, as are Tommi Mäkinen and Juha Kankkunen. Can he add his name to those legends as a Rally Finland winner? If he does, they'll have to conquer roads like this. Fast, smooth gravel, flat out, corner after flat out corner, with plenty of blind crests thrown in. Only the bravest succeed in Finland.
100. Nyppy keskeltä oikein eri.
Second here for 2 years running, few would bet against Mikko, claiming his first home win this weekend. Next into the 22 kilometres of Jukkajärvi is Sebastian Loeb. Sebastian has been linked with a drive with the Toro Rosso F1 team later in the year, but he needs to focus on rallying at the moment after losing the championship lead. And on these stages, you need maximum concentration. Danny Sordo has been one of the most consistent performers of the season. Danny is up to speed immediately and looking impressive on this flowing, undulating road. And after a huge error in the last round in Poland, crashing out in the final super special stage while holding second, this is a big rally for Jari-Matti Latvala. He'll be given some confidence with Malcolm Wilson stating that he is part of Ford's future plans. His main objective is to keep his Ford focus on the road and pick up some points for the team. Ford's number one, Hirvonen, is safely through the stage in a time of 10 minutes and 36 seconds at an average speed of 126 kilometres an hour. A good start for Mikko on his 29th birthday. So, has Loeb been able to respond to Mikko's impressive getaway? The Frenchman needs to stay in touch with Hirvonen, but I think he's going to lose the lead here, though. Yeah, almost 3 seconds down, and Sebastian slips behind the Ford man.
Sebastian, first stage on Friday morning and just under 3 seconds slower than Mikko in there.
I tried my best, but it was not possible to follow his rhythm now, so we will see.
Danny Sordo set the third fastest time in the stage and the pace was too hot for Latvala. Jari-Matti's 2.5 seconds slower than the Spaniard and 7.6 off the pace set by his teammate Hirvonen, but importantly, he is safely through the stage. Petter Solberg will be at a real disadvantage again on these blisteringly quick stages in his less powerful Citroën Zara. But even so, the former world champion is wringing everything he can out of his older car, and he sets a time just 5.2 seconds slower than Hirvonen and slots into fourth ahead of Latvala. Evgeny Novikov had an incident-filled weekend in Poland, but the Russian has high hopes for a good performance on Finland's breathtaking roads.
Left one short.
Oh, but that's an early mistake for the Citroën man. It's a terrible start for the 18-year-old. Taking another look, he begins to turn left on a right-hander. That could be another problem with his notes. He loses almost 5 minutes getting the car back on the road. And that's what hitting a tree at these speeds does to your car. The Russian driver was forced to retire for the day before the next stage. So Hirvonen is in the lead, 2 seconds ahead of Loeb with Sordo in third, 4.4 seconds behind the leader. Petter Solberg is in fourth with Latvala fifth. Moving straight on to the next 3 stages, and the reigning world champion Loeb is off the pace in stage 3, Krunen-Perä, and happy with his setup, he can only manage the 6th fastest time and falls down to 4th place on the leaderboard. And Hirvonen goes quickest to take maximum advantage, increasing his lead to 7.1 seconds.
Pitkä nyppy oikea laita, vasen eri sisältä sumppuun uran.
Loeb, though, has adjusted his differential and suspension settings in the road section on the way to stage 4, Moki-Perä, and looks much more at ease. The change in setup has certainly had the desired effect. Sebastian is quickest through stages 4 and 5 and closes up to within 4 seconds of the rally leader. Sordo can't match the speed of his teammate and he slips behind Loeb on the leaderboard, but he is still very much in the mix, just 8 seconds behind Loeb after stage 5. Latvala has crashed in Moki-Perä in the previous 2 years, so it's another controlled drive from the four-man. He's safely through this year, and the 24-year-old continues to rebuild his fragile confidence. Petter Solberg, meanwhile, was second fastest in stage 3 and had moved into second. We've joined him here in stage 4. Oh, but he's wide there. That off-road excursion has caused an immediate puncture, and the Zara is going to be very difficult to handle. And he's off the road again. Petter is desperately trying to power his way out of the ditch.
Come on, baby.
You can see the yellow boards that mark the start of the flying finish ahead.
Come on.
Phil Mills willing the car to get back on the road, but they just can't get enough traction for now. They're stuck fast. Frustration for Petter, but there is better news for another Norwegian. Mats Osberg has benefited from his compatriots' delay. The Subaru privateer is now up to 5th. While Formula One star Kimi Räikkönen is adapting to the loose surface very well and is running in 19th. Here's what the F1 star had to say before the event.
It's definitely one of the most hardest rallies what I have heard, but also nicest ones. I mean, there's everything and the people likes to come here, so it will be a nice new experience. We choose the test roads to be more similar over the crest and turning and jumping and sideways, so I think that will help, but of course now the stages are new, so I mean it's difficult to exactly know where you go and to trust your own nose to be in the right position. I think it doesn't matter what sport you go, you always want to have a competition out of it, so it's hard to just drive around and don't care about the times. It's always going to happen automatically, but we try to stay on the road and hopefully we can have some good speed sometime.
So Kimi going well, but not so for Petter Solberg with 2 punctures and only 1 spare. He's little choice but to pull out for the day.
Just before the finish, okay, we ended up with 2 punctures, and then we went off just before the finish line again, and then we got stuck. But we would not come any further anyway with 2 punctures, so that's how it is. But we were laying second. I was quite happy with that, and that means that when things are right, and I think the engine in Poland wasn't right, and now it worked, so then we are in the top.
Petter's retirement means Latvala moves into 4th. Loeb was up and down the leaderboard in those stages, but he's back in 2nd, 3.6 seconds behind Hirvonen. Sordo remains 3rd. It's been an interesting morning so far, and there's a chance to reflect on the action as the crews arrive back at the service park in Avaskala.
It's a hard battle, difficult to find the rhythm in the morning. I was not really satisfied with my car and I couldn't find the right feelings. Then we changed a bit the diff setting and came a bit back to what we used last year, and feeling was better. So after the 2 last stages, I was sure that when I arrived in the corner the car will turn. I was not sure of that in the first one, so it helped me a lot to find the rhythm.
The gap's 3.6 seconds. What's the plan this afternoon?
I'll keep on pushing. I'll go flat out, and then we'll see what Sebastian is going to do. But I don't know. It's going well. I have a good feeling and good rhythm now on driving, so no panic.
So the Citroën Ford battle is on. More day 1 highlights from Finland after this break. Welcome back to the Neste Oil Rally Finland, where Mikko Hirvonen is the leader on day 1. And here is the leader on stage 6. His lead over Sebastian Loeb stands at just 3.6 seconds. Birthday boy Hirvonen inch perfect over these fast gravel roads, and it's another strong run. He completes the stage 11 seconds quicker than he did in the morning and pulls out another 1.6 seconds on Loeb. He's also 2.4 seconds quicker than Seb through stage 7, Krunen-Perä. Sordo and Latvala remain 3rd and 4th, while Rantanen and Henning Solberg have both improved their positions at the expense of an ailing Mats Osberg. On to stage 8, where Mikko Hirvonen is at the start line. It's another super fast stage, and Hirvonen will have to keep his Ford Focus at full throttle to keep Loeb behind. And again, it's another impressive display from Mikko. Loeb with co-driver Daniel Elena is next into the stage. Loeb beat his Finnish rival on the first run through the Mokipera stage this morning, and after making setup changes, he'll be looking for a repeat performance.
130 mètres, gauche à fond, 100 mètres, gauche 145 plus, ferme 148.
With the fight at the front holding the attention, there's also an intriguing subplot developing, with the battle for third also simmering nicely. Danny Sordo here, seeking to stay ahead of Jari-Matti Latvala. Latvala looking perfectly balanced through this classic section of Finnish stage. Latvala's teammate, meanwhile, has continued to set an impressive pace in this second run through Mokipera. The split times have been very close, but despite Mikko's breathtaking speed, he could actually lose some ground to Loeb here. The world champion C4 is blasting through the final few corners, and he could beat Mikko here.
100 mètres, arrivée, 150 mètres, gauche 130.
Yes, with another fastest time, the world champion has fought back. He closes the gap to Mikko to just 6.5 seconds. It's been a good day, meanwhile, for Matti Rantanen. The 28-year-old made his name here last year with an impressive 7th place result, and he's on course to finish even higher in 2009. As is often his way, Henning Solberg's taken his time to get up to speed. With another top 5 time, though, the Stobart VK man is beginning to close up on fellow Ford driver Rantanen. Citroen coming out on top in that stage. Not only was Loeb faster than Hirvonen, but Sordo also beat Latvala, extending his advantage to over 10 seconds. We've seen a few drivers having moments out there today, but nothing too problematic. If any of those incidents had resulted in a more serious blockage of the stage, or the stage had to be neutralised for any other safety reason, this would be communicated to the drivers by the marshals waving a yellow flag. But a new electronic system is currently being tested.
Slow down. The new system we're developing with Magneti Marelli is an electronic yellow flag system. There'll be a mounted unit on the dashboard of every car. When the clerk of the course decides there is an emergency or a reason for a yellow flag warning, he is literally able to now press a button to send a signal through a repeater aircraft that we fly above the stages at all times and straight down into the individual cars themselves. This will then set off a warning light and a loud buzzer in the car to give warning to the driver that this yellow flag system has now been activated.
The clerk of the course makes his decision following a line of radio communication where the marshal on the stage informs the stage commander, who then informs the clerk of the course at Rally HQ. His decision to yellow flag the stage is then communicated back through the same channel. Now, once the clerk of the course has made his decision, the in-car yellow flag can be delivered via the rally communication system with a signal sent via a repeater plane that flies over the stage. As well as increasing the speed with which the yellow flags are issued and increasing visibility of the warning for driver and co-driver, the new system would eradicate the issue of the distance between marshals, so the cars can immediately go to road speed.
At the moment, the manual system works every 5 kilometers. So, as I say, in the worst case scenario, you could be 4.9 kilometers at full speed with a potential problem ahead. So you're going to arrive at that problem at full speed. The advantage of the electronic system is that it takes that away. So instantly you get the yellow lamp, you reduce speed. So all the cars on the stage get it at the same time. There's no uncertainty, everybody gets it, reduced speed, notional time, end of story.
The technology for the electronic system is provided by Magneti Marelli, who are also responsible for providing us with the in-car telemetry.
We are, as Magneti Marelli, very proud to be part of this project of the yellow flag with WRC. We try to use at the best our technology, and we feel that we are very, very close to reach the final target, to use a road car technology in a very difficult environment as the WRC is, and to improve the safety. That is the main target of Magneti Marelli.
Back to the action, and Sebastian Loeb's performance this afternoon looks to have followed the same pattern as this morning, as he follows his fastest time on stage 8 with another on stage 9. He closes up to just 4 seconds behind the leader, Mikko Hirvonen. There has been Plenty going on further down the leaderboard as well. Jani Ketamar has ensured there are 4 Finns in the top 8. Driving a 2007 spec Subaru Impreza, Jari's lost some ground this afternoon, but does finish the day in the final point-scoring position. Sébastien Ogier of the Citroën Junior team is 1 place behind in 9th, despite a spin and an overshoot today. Matthew Wilson struggled to find grip on the slippery early stages, but after stiffening his springs at service, his Ford Focus has more precise handling, and he's begun to make some progress on the leaderboard. He finishes the day in 10th after being passed by Ogier in stage 9. Conrad Rautenbach is 1 place back in 11th. The Zimbabwean has had a lively day at times. He was very lucky to survive this misjudgment in stage 6. Taking another look, he overcooks it into the right-hander, and the impact with the bank bounces him back onto the road. Conrad is well positioned to break into the top 10. Kimi Raikkonen's times have steadily improved in the afternoon loop. He's 17th overall and 4th in the production spec class. And his Formula 1 rival Red Bull Racing's Sebastian Vettel is also in a vascular. Here comparing notes with Sebastian Loeb and Dani Sordo.
So Sebastian, there seems to be a lot of Formula 1 interest in rallying. Kimi's driving, you're here this weekend?
Yeah, unfortunately I'm not driving, no, but I'm enjoying. I mean, it's my first time live visiting the rally, and it's, it's fascinating. I've been to quite a lot of the stages so far, and it's, especially here, Rally Finland with high speed. It's very nice to be out there and watch.
But the #1 rally driver in Finland is the home nation's Mikko Hirvonen. Although he did lose a few temps to Loeb in the Killary Super Special, which ended the day. His lead going into day 2 is now just 3.3 seconds. Sordo is still 3rd and Latvala 4th. And make sure you join us after the break for the day 2 highlights, where the speeds are going to be even higher and the jumps even bigger. Welcome back to Finland, where home hero Mikko Hirvonen leads the way. Here to tell us more about the day 2 route is Kimi Raikkonen's co-driver Kai Lindström.
Day 2, 9 stages, total of 167 kilometers. Leustu starting stage will be quite difficult. It's a high-speed stage with some twisty parts as well. End of the day, we will do 3 more stages. First one is Urja with a very big jump. Then we will do completely new stage, Kavala. And the last stage, the longest stage of the whole rally, 29 kilometers, Väärinmaja.
It's another very fast stage to get us underway. Then on day 2, Leustu is 21 kilometers long and incredibly quick. In contrast to Friday's sunny conditions, there's some light rain in the air, which is welcome news for rally leader Mikko Hirvonen. Mikko resumes his quest to get revenge for Loeb's victory in his homeland last year, and these damp conditions will help bind the top layer of gravel together, providing more grip for the Finn. And he'll need everything in his favour, as Sebastian Loeb is just over 3 seconds behind. The Frenchman had the beating of Hirvonen on a few of the stages on day 1, but overall he's been struggling to match the Finnish star's searing pace. Dani Sordo put in one of the drives of the day yesterday to hold off the precociously talented Jari-Matti Latvala. Dani begins stage 11 with an advantage of just over 10 seconds on Ford's #2. Latvala, though, is suffering from an upset stomach this morning. Not what you need to get through these roller coaster stages. Jari-Matti will have to dig deep on his homeland's roads today. Latvala's senior teammate is nearing the end of the stage, and using virtual spectator we can compare his early pace with Loeb's. Mikko was clearly ahead at this split roughly halfway through the stage, but how big was that gap? 2.7 seconds ahead there. It's looking like it could be a terrific start to day 2 for the championship leader. The stage is cleared in a time of just under 10 minutes and 5 seconds, so that's the benchmark for the chasing pack. Loeb has been fed the split times inside the Citroën C4, but knowing he's slower is one thing. Doing something about it is a very different matter. Closing on the finish boards now, and he will be slower here. 2.2 seconds lost. The gap to the leader is now 5.5. There is better news for Loeb's Spanish teammate Sordo, though. It's been another good stage for Danny, beating Latvala by half a second. The best of the rest behind the works drivers is local youngster Matti Rantanen. For some reason, Matti can't find the same rhythm and feeling this morning, though, and his position could be under threat. Because starting just 2.6 seconds back is fellow Ford driver Henning Solberg, and he does just enough to go into 5th position ahead of Rantanen. And there's no respite today with 9 stages of action. Next up are Himos and Sirki. And Hirvonen's strong start continues. It's another fastest time for Mikko in stage 12, and he pulls another 1.5 seconds away from Loeb. The Frenchman is slipping further and further adrift. In stage 13, it gets even worse. Loeb is 4 seconds slower in the first run through Sirki, and now almost 11 behind overall. In the battle for third, though, this time it's Latvala's turn to attack. The telemetry shows how his speeds are consistently above 130 kilometers an hour through this section. The odd dab of the brakes to set his car up over the crests and through the corners. He's catching Danny Sordo in 3rd place, and he's just under 1 second quicker than the Citroën man in stage 12 and makes up another 1.5 seconds on 13. Having just made it up to 5th, Henning Solberg can now set about defending his position from Rantanen. But there is a problem here for Henning. He didn't seem to hit anything, but he's clearly broken something at the front of the car. Oh, and he's off the road. It's his suspension that's damaged, and eventually it causes his drive shaft to come loose, and driving into that puddle means it's the end of the day for Henning.
Yeah, it's no damage on the car. It's just head bolt came loose. So I went in the water up here. It was a water hole outside. I tried to park there, but it was deep.
Henning's retirement means another promotion for those further back, including Mads Osberg, who should now move up to 6th. Oh, but he's misjudged the line there. I think he can put that one down to a bad pace note. Losing time here, though, as he has to turn round in a farmyard. A bizarre incident there for Mads. He does eventually get back on the road, but not before he's lost around 16 seconds. But Osberg still improves to 6th after Henning Solberg's retirement, while Matti Rantanen is now up to 5th. Ahead of them, confirmation there that Latvala's closing on Sordo in 3rd, while Hirvonen has extended his lead over Loeb. Finland covers an area of over 338,000 square kilometres, of which 76% is covered by forest and another 10% is covered by water. There are 60,000 lakes. And in the middle of that is the city of Jyväskylä, home to Rally Finland. This has a population of 140,000, but this grows significantly during the rally weekend. Let the carnival begin.
Rallying is a national sport in Finland. We are called the spiritual home of rallying. Our atmosphere is special, and the Finns, they get the knowledge of rallying in their mother's milk, so also the demand is very huge. We try to offer everybody something, and that's why this weekend is always known as a festival. When you go to the pedestrian street in the night, so you can see that there is a real party going on. We have 500,000 Finns in the forest, so which is 25% of the whole population, so that's good. Last year we sold, if I remember right, so 20 tons of sausages, and then people were drinking over 40,000 liters beer, so it tells something. We start to plan the rally always 16 months before, so actually we are already building 2010 now.
And it's another big crowd at the service park in Jyväskylä, taking the opportunity to get close to the WRC's elite. And one of the WRC stars of the past, Juha Kankkunen, is on hand, maybe giving some advice to Mikko Hirvonen on how to win this rally.
It's been a very good drive. I mean, no moments or no mistakes so far, so hopefully I can keep it up like that. But for sure now when we go through the stages, second time through, it's going to be soft and there's lots of ruts and lots of rocks as well, so we need to be careful now.
Can you push any harder?
Yeah, there's a little bit room, but not much. But I'm easily start to make small mistakes if I try to go even faster, so now it's been really good.
The battle with Mikko continues. He's opened up a bit of a lead on you this morning. What do you think the difference has been?
Difficult to say. He was very fast. He's pushing on the limit everywhere. I see his line is really fast everywhere, and maybe the road condition is a little bit different, but I don't think so much. I just think he's too fast.
As you've already heard, we can look forward to more of this rivalry over the next 2 years, with Citroën and Ford both committing to the WRC, and Ford's chairman and CEO, John Fleming, has been enjoying the action in Finland.
What you've got is high-class professionals who are racing with only seconds between them. And, I mean, it's one thing's the cars, but the second thing is that real sort of knife-edge battle between fantastic drivers. It's what it makes it all worthwhile. Our employees look at Autosport and they look at WRC. They see that Mikko is our driver. They see him leading at the moment. They'll see him leading here. And so it just builds up the enthusiasm. And we believe he can do it.
Welcome back to Finland. There are still 6 more stages to run today, starting with a repeat loop of the morning tests. And Mikko's devastating run continues. He's in untouchable form at the moment. I think Loeb could struggle to match him again in here. With no answer to Hirvonen's incredible speed this morning, Loeb has changed his car to the identical setup he used here last year. But to no avail, he's still 1.6 seconds slower than Mikko in the second run through Liestu. There was better news for Loeb's teammate Danny Sordo in that stage. His lead over Latvala is back up over 10 seconds. Next is the repeat run through the 21-kilometre Himos stage. Hirvonen is first into action. It's been a terrific day so far for the Finn, and the Ford driver has already got pedal to the metal in stage 15. Ford's number 1 is running increased ride height and stiffer springs after changes in service and has clicked into a devastating rhythm this afternoon. He's absolutely determined to win his home rally. No matter what Loeb has tried today, Hirvonen has had an answer to everything. The world champion takes off into this technical stretch of road, and with the title race so finely poised, these are all crucial kilometres for the Citroën driver. Sordo, meanwhile, needs to build on his good performance in stage 14. He's currently 10.4 seconds ahead of Latvala. Jari-Matti, though, has raised his game in Himos too. The Finn is feeling a little better after a bout of food poisoning made for an uncomfortable morning, so he'll have a bit more energy to attack in these flowing stages. Up ahead, Hirvonen still at his spectacular best, and judging from his early pace, he's again right on the limit. With the conditions slightly more slippery this afternoon, Mikko completes the stage in a time a few seconds slower than the first run through this morning.
Mikko looking at the splits, it's all about splits, but this time Sebastian's a little bit up on you, 0.8.
It's very good, and that was absolutely the limit I can do. The whole stage, absolutely flat out and perfect drive, so he's definitely pushing really, really hard as well.
But it looks like Loeb has lost a lot of time. He's already outside Hirvonen's mark, and the finish line is nowhere in sight. This is the stage where a puncture cost him a chance of victory in 2005. And again, this could be a decisive moment in the rally. He's lost 13.5 seconds to Hirvonen.
At 15.8, you're 0.8 quicker, and over 13 slower. What happened?
Puncture or broken suspension, I don't know. In a hairpin, It was like a hole in the road, and I went in, it hits, and I think it put the tire off the rim.
Virtual Spectator shows us that Loeb and Hirvonen were neck and neck in that stage until the Citroën driver had that tyre problem, which was just over a kilometre from the end of the stage. Loeb's speed drops off dramatically. He was 15 kilometres an hour slower through this speed trap. With Latvala reducing the gap to Sordo in third to less than 7 seconds. That was a very good stage for Ford. Confirmation there that Hirvonen's lead is up to 26 seconds. There were no changes in position in the top 8. And the party is continuing out on the stages in Finland. And the locals have lots to celebrate because despite his huge lead, there is no sign of backing off from Mikko Hirvonen. With a healthy advantage over his championship rival, the 29-year-old could have been forgiven for easing up his pace. But just to rub salt into the wound, he takes another 2 seconds out of Sebastian Loeb on stage 16. Jari-Matti Latvala is driving pretty aggressively as he hunts down Danny Sordo in third position. And on stage 16, he records his first fastest time of the weekend and moves into the podium places. On to the final 3 stages of day 2, and things are looking bleak for Loeb's hopes of a second successive Finland win. Rally leader Hirvonen has continued serenely on his way. With a lead of around half a minute over his championship rival, Mikko does ease off the pace a little in the final 2 stages, but it's been the perfect day for Ford's #1, and he's now tantalisingly close to his first home win. Already having slipped almost half a minute behind the rally leader, Loeb will know catching Mikko on pace alone is now unlikely. And with 8 championship points at stake, he also backs off a little. He beats Hirvonen for the first time in day 2 on stage 19, but he's still over half a minute adrift. And the drama keeps on coming in Finland. This is Mats Osberg completely overcooking it in this stage 19 corner. He's straight off into the trees. A nightmare finish to the day for the Subaru driver, and his 7th place is long gone. This is Kimi Räikkönen approaching that same corner. And he's off too. He's made the same mistake at the same corner as Osberg. The crowd certainly appreciated his efforts. It's been impressive, but Räikkönen's WRC adventure is over.
I came a little bit too wide line, and I saw that it's gonna go wide, but then there was unfortunately a lot of rocks, so when it hit the rocks it rolled over. But I mean, I think we would not finish the rally because we had too many problems with the engines, but I mean it was good fun, and I mean nobody got hurt, so.
And the moment of the day goes to Evgeny Novikov on stage 14. The Russian fans are loving his commitment, but that was a quite breathtaking moment for Evgeny and co-driver Dale Mosca. They got away with that, but they're not so lucky a bit further down the road.
No, that's it, mate.
But let's take another look at that jump. The C4 was just centimetres away from flipping over backwards. It must have been a heart-stopping moment from inside the car. For a moment, they could see nothing but sky.
Right side crest 50, crest right 1.
And here we see the heli-tele view of the incident that ended their day. So this is the state of play going into the final day. Hirvonen's lead over Loeb 32 seconds, while Latvala increased his advantage over Sordo to 10.5 seconds. Matti Rantanen is still 5th. It's been another thrilling day's action. The big question now is, can Mikko Hirvonen win his first Rally Finland? The final day's action is coming up after the break. Mikko Hirvonen is the leader going into the final day of Rally Finland. Here's Kai Lindstrom, who's thankfully unharmed after Kimi Räikkönen shunt, to let us know what to expect on the final day.
Day 3, just 4 stages and only 47 kilometers. That doesn't mean that the rally is over. Stage 21 and 22, Myhimpää, is a legendary stage of Rally Finland. It hasn't been used since 1995. There's a lot of crests. Sharp jumps, will be very, very difficult stage for everyone. The last stage of the rally, Ruuhimäki, it's only 6.5 kilometers. starts with a narrow pit, and then last 3 kilometers we come to the very wide road with the big jumps.
A short day ahead then to finish Rally Finland, but an absolutely crucial one for Mikko Hirvonen. Mikko has seen off the challenge of Loeb with ruthless efficiency and has ensured he should have a relatively stress-free run to the finish line. He keeps things neat and tidy through stage 20, setting the 6th fastest time, but maintaining a healthy 35-second advantage. It's Jari-Matti Latvala, though, who takes his 4th stage win of the rally, pulling further away from Sordo and slashing the gap to Loeb by 10 seconds. On to the classic My Himpar stage next, and Hirvonen has continued with his cautious approach to preserve his chances of taking a maiden Rally Finland win. The road is damp and slippery in places this morning, so there are unlikely to be excessive risks from Mikko through this impressive stretch of road. Latvala's time in stage 20 will have served as a wake-up call to Loeb. His 2nd position is not secure just yet, and Sebastian is sending Latvala a clear message in here by flooring his Citroën C4. Latvala's gains in stage 20 may have been in part down to Loeb backing off, but even so, he'll want to keep the pressure on the man in 2nd. Jari-Matti begins the roller coaster My Himpar stage 26 seconds behind the world champion. Danny Sordo was not far behind Latvala in the day's opening test, having held 3rd place for so long this weekend. The Spaniard will still have hope he can claw back some time on the Ford man. It's a good run through stage 21. He could trim the gap to Latvala in here. Up ahead, though, Hirvonen is about to clear the stage. Once again, it's been a safety-first stride from Mikko, but he's another step closer to an emotional home win.
You're 2 stages away now from your first Rally Finland victory.
Yeah, 2 stages to go, but it's there's no panic. I can take it fairly steady, so it's looking good.
Hirvonen seems happy then and rejoining his teammate now. Let's see if Jari-Matti can make any more inroads into Loeb's advantage. I'm not sure if he can this time. No, Latvala 2 seconds slower. He's now 28 seconds behind overall.
Jari-Matti, you've made up some time on Sebastian Loeb this morning.
Yeah, it's been a good start in the morning, and the first one and the second one, this Myhimpää, came quite all right. Not as well as the first one, but I'm quite satisfied.
But Latvala was also beaten by Sordo, who reduces the gap back to 12.1 seconds. So Jari-Matti still has some work to do to hold on to 3rd place over the last 2 stages, which total just over 21 kilometres. The first of those is a 2nd run through My Himpar, and Latvala is running out of kilometres to make any impression on Loeb's advantage. The Finn seems to be enjoying himself out there, though, and with yet another stage win, he does make up another couple of seconds on Loeb. Further back, meanwhile, Matti Rantanen is still in 5th, but the Munchies Ford driver has become involved in a fight for position on this final morning with Citroën Junior driver Sébastien Ogier. Ogier's had a terrific rally on his first attempt at this daunting event in a World Rally car. By the end of stage 22, the Frenchman has closed up to just 0.6 of a second behind Rantanen. While Hirvonen and Loeb's championship fight rages on this weekend, there is one title that has been decided in Finland. By winning his class here, the Czech driver Martin Prokop has secured the Junior World Rally Championship with 1 round remaining. The Citroën C2 driver, another potential star of the future. Finland still had time to claim one last victim, though, this time Konrad Rautenbach. Rautenbach and co-driver Daniel Barrett were thankfully unharmed in that accident, but it has allowed Khalid Al-Qasimi to make a late jump up the standings. The Abu Dhabi Tourism Authority-backed driver is now 9th. On to the final stage of what's been an enthralling rally. The short blast through the 6.5-kilometre Ruuhimäki stage is a spectacular way to round off the weekend. Sebastian Loeb has given everything he could to try and repeat his stunning finish victory from last year, but ultimately it looks as though he'll fall just short. The Citroën driver is well accustomed to finishing 2nd here, having spent years chasing the rear bumper of Marcus Gronholm. He's flat out over the huge crests that end this stage, but with just 3 rounds remaining this season and another 2 points about to be lost to Hirvonen, missing out on winning here this year could be the hardest to take. A fine second place though for Sebastian Loeb and Daniel Elena.
It was a good battle with Mikko, but he was really good, he was really fast, and so it was looking good for him, but then when I had my puncture, then it was over because I lost too much time and it was not possible to come back.
Hirvonen knows all about finishing second on his home event. He's finished in that position for the last 2 years. This year, though, there was just no stopping Ford's flying Finn. Mikko has never looked like losing this rally. It's been a simply awe-inspiring drive from the 29-year-old. He's finishing the stage in style. Over Ruhimäki's famous jumps at the finish here. Mikko has been a joy to watch over his homeland's incredible roads this weekend. It's the 3rd win in a row for Mikko, his first victory on the home soil, and crucially, the momentum in the championship is swinging firmly in his direction. An emotional moment for Hirvonen and co-driver Jarmo Lehtinen. And back at Ford, the celebrations have already begun.
I've been looking at the rally since I was a kid to myself, and now finally won it myself. And I got my name along the many of Finnish legends who won the rally, so it's absolutely a great feeling.
It's just been an amazing fight. You've led all the way through the rally, first on the road. That's laid a ghost to rest as well. Yeah, it went exactly like we planned, and for sure against Sebastian it's always very tight fight, but we were pulling away slowly, but then when he had a puncture we could take it a bit more steadier, but I was just enjoying the whole weekend. It was absolutely fantastic.
Confirmation there that Latvala got home safely in 3rd, with Sordo 4th, while behind Rantanen just about held off Ogier for 5th. Hirvonen's winning margin 25.1 seconds, but what is of most significance is that Hirvonen collects 10 championship points to Loeb's 8.
Kankkunen, Mikkola, Vatanen, and now Mikko Hirvonen. How does it feel to win Rally Finland?
That's one of the best things what I kind of love this moment, like just get my name on the same list with all those legends who's won this rally, so it's absolutely a great feeling.
It's a dream. It's been a perfect weekend. Both guys have done a perfect job. Mikko, I mean, I think this is the real turning point for him now to win Finland. I've seen over the years that so many drivers, once they win this event, you know, then where the level they can then get to.
So Mikko on 68 points in the Drivers' Championship, while Sebastian will go into round 10 3 behind on 65. Sordo retains his 3rd place. And Ford's still in the running in the Manufacturers' Championship as they close the gap on Citroën to 14 points. As ever, Rally Finland has delivered some stunning action. And here's a few memories of 3 fantastic days of rally.